It's been a while since you and I have talked. You came out to Salt Lake City. We had breakfast together a few years back.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
You were heading to New York for a
Yep,
play.
that's right. And I've been there ever since.
Ah, man, we miss you out here. Anyway, In Search of, I mean, this show has been around for a bit, but you're taking it in a new direction. You're the producer now of the show, right?
That's true. Yeah, I signed on as host and executive producer, and we're thrilled to be back for a second season. Looking at a whole new host of mysteries and unsolved legends that have endured for generations. And we kick it off with a two-part exploration of the Loch Ness Monster. We look at the Bermuda Triangle. We look at aliens. We look at the lost colony of Roanoke. We cover a really wide range of topics in season 2, and I'm really excited to bring this new exploration to audiences.
Are you always surprised at the mysteries we have on this planet?
I mean, I find there's something really engaging about mysteries that have lasted for so long and remain unsolved. And there's something for me about furthering the conversation and diving into an exploration of the origins of these mysteries. And this show certainly allows us to do that. So it's exciting and I think satisfying for audiences to get a little bit closer to maybe what's going on behind some of these really unsolved legends.
You know, years ago, I spoke with Ricardo Montalban, who told me that one of the hardest things an actor can do is be a host, to do that kind of intro work that sometimes gets a little wordy and boring. Do you find that true?
I enjoy finding ways to communicate ideas and telling stories, and this show has been that. In season 1, I was really able to travel the world myself and interview people on the ground, so it was a lot more engaged and a lot more kind of improvisational. In season 2, I was more limited to the studio and kind of presenting the stories and giving the lead-ins and the intros to the segments. But it's always an interesting challenge for me to figure out how to communicate that in an interesting and engaging way. Hopefully I did a good job of it. We'll see.
Do you have a favorite episode or a favorite mystery that strikes you as particularly weird or mysterious?
Well, I can remember being incredibly freaked out by the Bermuda Triangle episode in the original series when I was a kid. So I think being able to revisit that from the position of hosting the show was really unique and exciting for me. No less unsettling, but interesting nonetheless.
On the other side of the coin, are you back on stage? Are you doing a few films? Are you directing and producing?
I'm still producing a lot. I'm doing a TV show currently and have a bunch of stuff in development at my production company, looking for a play to do and really eager to get back on stage at some point soon. Working on figuring out all the answers to those questions. Hopefully things will reveal themselves as the year comes to a close.
And I know that a show like In Search of, though, does take up a lot of time to do and produce and get right. You're not traveling, as you said, you're not traveling much this year, but is that going to change again? I know that you enjoy travel.
I love traveling. I travel at any chance I get. With regard to In Search of, we'll see what happens if we do a third season of the show. It really comes down to scheduling. I just wasn't able to carve out the 4 months that it took us to shoot the first season at this point. But if I can travel and bring some of these stories to life firsthand, I would love to. But it just seemed like we wanted to keep telling the stories, and luckily we have a great director and a great team of producers who went out on the road and got all the info and did all the interviews for us. But we'll see what happens. People need to tune in Friday nights at 10 p.m. on History in order to ensure a third season, and so hopefully that'll happen and we can have that conversation down the line.
And speaking of the History Channel, it is, we've come into a new golden age of television where I think you're allowed to do a lot more than you were back in, even the 80s. Television has changed incredibly, and I'm seeing a great surge in writing and information that wasn't really there before.
Yeah, I mean, there's such a breadth of content, and not only content, but places to engage with content. And I think it is a really exciting time. It's a daunting time as well. You know, how do you find an audience, and then how do you keep an audience is a totally different question in this landscape than it was even 5 years ago. So I think everybody's looking at the trends and where things are going to go. But one thing I think everybody can agree on is that the quality of storytelling on television has never been so strong and so rewarding for audiences, and also for those of us who are lucky enough to be a part of telling those stories.
Well, again, it's In Search Of. It's on the History Channel Friday nights. Catch it. You are just a great host, and I really appreciate the producing side of what you do as well. It is really the show has stepped up since its inception. Back in the late 70s when Alan Landsberg did it?
Rod Serling and then Leonard Nimoy, yeah, and yeah, we're grateful for the chance to bring it back and to tell stories from a whole new perspective for a whole new generation.
Zachary, thank you so much. I hope to see you soon, and all the best. Congratulations.
Thank you, man. You too. Have a great day.